I did want to ask a little bit about North London, but the Lily White part of it. Are you getting a little nervous about the Kane situation? Or are you quite relaxed? Where do you forget being relaxed? Let me throw that question away.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on this? Should you cash in on him now, 80 million, and stop him forever going to a rival, or should you keep him for the season and then let him join Man United, Chelsea, maybe even Arsenal next year on a free? What is actually best for Tottenham? Reinvest that money now, stop him going to a rival, or have Harry Kane for one more year?
Yeah, see, I'm very chilled, as you don't know. I've been very chilled. I see a lot of Tottenham fans losing their hair, going crazy every day, every other day. They're going nuts, tweeting this, tweeting that. And even obviously all rival fans always getting on to me. What happens next? What do you want to do? I'm chilled, man. I think for me, I said it from a long time ago. I don't see Kane leaving this summer. I really don't. I know Bayern Munich are coming with a few mediocre, meaty bids that are not serious at all. When you see someone like Kai Havertz going for 60 million, Mason Mount going for 60, well, Kai Havertz 65, Mason Mount 60, and you're bidding 68 for Harry Kane, it's a bit of an insult. So unless they are actually going to put a decent bid in of 90 to 100, I don't think Spurs will consider it. And for me, with everything that's happened at Tottenham, as in players leaving, a new manager that we don't know how he's going to fare in the Premier League. He's done well wherever he's been at, but the Premier League is a different kettle of fish. It makes sense to keep Harry Kane. He's our best player. And if Tottenham want to finish as high up in the league as possible, you need your best player to stay. The guy's good for 25 to 30 goals a season. At the moment, you've seen how poor the striker market is. Keep him, see how well we do. At the end of the day, if things do go well and Harry Kane has a good season and Tottenham actually do better than expected, he may sign another contract. You just never know. But
Terry, that's evil.
The thing is, though, I even think from your point of view, signing Harry Kane up to a new deal is silly, mate, because you're not going to win anything. And then at the end of his contract, he leaves for all those goals with no trophies mean nothing. You should cash in and reinvest for the future now.
Why should we cash in? Nah, I don't see us cashing in. I don't. You're saying we should cash in. Why? And who do we go out and get?
I'll tell you as to why. I don't think with the teams, maybe a Carabao Cup, but with the teams that you're competing against that are ahead of you, for the next 2 or 3, 4 years, while Kane's still at his best, you're not going to win anything. And then when he retires, say he retires at 33, 34, and you get no money for him, you're not going to, you will profess that your owners don't really spend money, right? Don't invest enough. So how do you ever replace him if he goes for free or he retires? You need to raise money so that you're able to reinvest. And I just feel that the longer you keep Kane, the more detrimental it will be to Tottenham, because you ain't going to win anything. If you're not winning anything, you might as well reinvest the Kane money for the future. Otherwise, you end up with nothing at the end of it. Like literally, Kane's whole career becomes pointless.
That logic, if we have Kane or we don't have Kane, what's the difference? You're saying if we don't win anything. I mean, first and foremost, you don't know. I mean, of course, yes, Tottenham haven't won anything, but every season's different. You never know. So obviously, every fan going into a season is going to have some sort of optimism and hope. If you don't, then football's not for you. You've always got to believe in it and the unthinkable, because you just don't know how a season can unfold. Secondly, we don't need to cash in on Kane to be okay. Tottenham are a cash-rich club. We've got bundles of money. Whether the owners want to spend it or not, selling Harry Kane for 80 million isn't going to make any difference to how secure and financial Tottenham are as a football club. So I don't really buy that notion. For me, I think it's best to build around Kane. If he's here for one more year, see how well we do. If he leaves on the free, so be it. At the end of the day, players do move on. It happens all the time. Of course, you never want to see your best players leave, but it happens at other clubs and they're going to be okay. If Harry Kane does leave, Tottenham will be okay again. It may take a season or two, but it's not the end of the world. But I'd like to see us with an attacking manager, obviously Maddison behind Kane, Sonny fit and firing again, Kulusevski fit, firing again, competent wing backs. Obviously, we need to improve our defense and then see how well we do. So for me, it makes sense to keep him. And then after that, whatever happens, happens.
But why wouldn't you want to reinvest that money in the team? Because I have no doubt that Kane is going to have an amazing season with Spurs. I think he's going to have a better season than last season, actually, because he's not going to be playing in Europe. So he's going to get more rest time. I think the manager coming in is going to be better than what you had last season. Because last season you played with Conte, who was much more defensive minded, and then towards the end of the season, you had what's his name, Ryan Mason and stuff, and the other Italian guy, what was his name?
Stellini, and then
Stellini. So there was a lot of like instability going on with the club, and Kane still got his goals. So imagine when he plays on attacking side and behind him Madison, I think he's gonna have a great year. But what is all that gonna lead to? That's my issue. He can have an amazing season and it inflates his price, but he can't even be sold next season, which is the issue with the whole thing for me. I think it's better off to just cut it off, sell him, get the money, reinvest, because like it looks like your manager knows the type of players that he wants in the club. He's not making club signings, he's making his own signings. Hence why a lot of these players we don't really know of, except for like maybe Madison, which I like that for the manager, because he's not being influenced by Levy or whatever, like he's not doing what Todd Bowley was doing with Chelsea. But then yet again, if you reinvest that money, you can be like, listen, you can get the profiles that you want, but actually now you can upgrade a little bit and get players that are better in their class, because now I have, let's say, 100 million that I just got from Kane. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like keeping him won't really do any benefit long term. You're gonna have a good season, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. And like, he's such a big asset. Like, why would you want to get rid of that asset for free? Do you know what I mean? You've built him up. He's become world class at your club, and you can get at least 100 million for him right now. Why would you want to give that up for the sake of maybe getting top 4 or maybe getting back into Europe? Surely this should be like a start of a new era under Ange. And like Staffy said, like I said, you kind of have to trust this guy now with his talent ID, because I don't know what type of recruitment team Spurs have. Do you guys have do you have like a structure when it comes to recruitment? Because I don't really see it. Do you know what I mean? You've spent money, but you haven't spent money on the right players. And with Ange, again, you might hear of players that you've never heard of. You might hear of a striker from a league that you're not too sure on. But he might have identified that person and say, do you know what? He knows how I like to play. He's going to come in and do exactly what I need him to do. And with that money, you can get at least 3, maybe even 4 players, because the market he's shopping in, he might be able to find some cheap players. Do you know what I mean? So for me, long term, like Staffy said, it just doesn't make any sense to not want to sell Harry Kane right now, because let's be real, Patrick, do you really think you're going to get top 4 next season? Like with everyone else and the business that they're doing and where they are right now and where you are?
Realistically, no, but every season, crazy things happen. I mean, no one would have predicted Brighton to finish in the top 6. You had so many people that wrote off Man United before the season started.
Yeah, but Patrick, that's you hoping. That's you hoping.
No, I'm not hoping. This is football, though. Every season, there's no one would have thought Arsenal would have finished second. Let's be real. So every season, different stories are written. So we don't know. The fact that we're not in Europe, the fact that we're only playing 1 game a week with a manager that plays attacking football, I don't think that is going to happen. But at the end of the day, in football, you just don't know how season's going to pan out. Secondly, with the whole investing, reinvesting, first and foremost, we need a realistic bid to come in. So far, no one's done that. So that's another thing. So for us to even consider selling Kane, 60 million is not going to cut it. Do you know what I mean? Why would we, at the end of the day, a lot of fans say, oh, you need to get rid of Kane, you need to sell Kane. We're not going to give him away for free. He has a value. He's one of the best strikers and players in the world. You've got to at least pay to go and wait for him. And then obviously that's something to consider. If Kane stays or Kane goes, either way, Tottenham will move on as a club. But first and foremost, we're not going to give him away. He's not, we don't have to give Harry Kane away. That's the narrative, that we have to sell Kane. We have to let him go. He's held hostage. He's not. If a club is really interested in him, they're going to put a proper bid in, and then obviously we can consider it. Because even back 3 years ago, Man City, 100 million, that was quite cheeky when they paid 100 odd for the Jack Grealish, and Kane had 3 years left on his deal. Again, it wasn't a serious bid. So let a serious bid come in, obviously then we can consider it. But for me right now, I think that you build around Kane for the year and see how you do. I feel
like you're hoping that you do well and hopefully get top 4. So he signs on. Do you feel like, I feel like you want him to sign on? That's what it sounds like right now. It sounds like you don't let him stay.
I want Kane to. I'll make no bones about it. I've said this for I want Kane to stay at Tottenham. I'm not one of these guys that want Harry Kane to go. Oh, Kane needs to go. He deserves to go. At the end of the day, I wish and want Harry Kane to stay at Tottenham. I don't want to see us lose our best player. For me, he's the best ever player I've seen in a Tottenham shirt. Like, in terms of seeing like the quality and what he brings to football, he's insane. And I think obviously he is disrespected because he plays for Tottenham. If he does leave Tottenham, you're going to see everyone and their mum come out and say how amazing he is. He's the best player in the world, all of this and that. That's what always happens when a player leaves Spurs. But yeah, I don't want to see us lose Kane. But also at the same time, I'm realistic and I understand that if a decent bid comes in, then obviously it's time to consider it. But at the moment, 65 million, that's an insult. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it is. I agree with that. I even said that to George the other day on Monday on the top 6. But let's say Spurs somehow get top 4, right? I get what you're saying, because next summer, if Kane was to end up leaving, if he managed to get you guys in the top 4, naturally you're going to be able to attract better players because you've actually got Champions League football. Do you know what I mean? Even better players than Europa League. Do you know what I mean? Because you're in London, you're a big club, and again, you're trying to start this new process. But realistically, I don't see you guys getting top 4. So there's only so much Kane's going to be able to do this season, and then next season you're going to have to start again anyway. Do you know what I mean? When you'd rather just do it now rather than just delaying the inevitable, because I think he's going to leave. In all honesty, if he does stay this season, if he signs, then I can't defend him anymore. Do you know what I mean? Right now, how I see it, it's Levy that's kind of holding him back. Because even when Man City wanted him, he skipped training. He was trying to leave. Right now, he's not going to try and burn bridges with Tottenham because he's a Tottenham legend. Do you know what I mean? But that's how I look at it. Because realistically, I don't see you guys getting top 4. It doesn't matter what you do this season. I don't see you guys getting top 4 with where you are. So you're just kind of delaying the inevitable. That's how I kind of see it. But I do get what you're saying in terms of if a decent offer comes in, let's see what we can work with.
Exactly. That's it. I mean, Tottenham fans are not going to wish Harry Kane out the door. So at the end of the day, a decent bid needs to come in that we can actually consider and it's worth our while. If not, then Kane will just ride out the season and see what happens. It's
certainly interesting. There's a super chat here that says, do you think you can replace Kane, considering how bad the striker market is at the moment? Who's your target if Kane does leave?
Can I answer that before Patrick speaks? I feel like people are forgetting that they have Richarlison on the bench. Whether you rate him or not, this guy was banging in the Premier League 2 seasons ago before they bought him. So I understand last season he was more of a meme because of taking off his shirt and all his goals being disallowed. But this guy was actually banging goals for Everton, and he scored goals for Brazil in the World Cup. So let's not act like he doesn't know how to score goals. I thought when they got him that he was going to be a replacement soon anyways. I don't really rate him personally, by the way, but I know he could score goals. Now, let's just stop this notion that if they sell Kane, they have no one to play up front. They do have a player that can play up front, whether you rate him or not. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you'll never be able to replace Harry Kane like for like, because he is literally an elite. Out of this world striker. There's only 3 or 4 players that are literally on his level, or if not, just there or thereabouts. So you'll never be able to replace Harry Kane like for like. But like I think it was Staffy, you said it, Don, and I think Terry said it as well. You're gonna have to go out and buy at least 2 or 3 quality players and then build there. We're damned if we do, damned if we don't. Personally, my personal opinion is we keep him for the season, see how well we do, and then let whatever happens. But there's going to be people that would like to see him sold now, so we make some money off it. It just depends, which way you want to look at it. Really.
I get that. This Harold here says you are projecting your own values, principles, and wants on all, and say there's only one way to do things. I hope Kane stays at Spurs and wins something there. Yeah, I mean, to a degree, when you give your opinion, you are projecting your thoughts and feelings onto everybody, and you think they're right. But yeah, I've got a theory anyway. I think Harry Kane's joining Man United this summer.
No chance.
I believe by it'd be close transfer deadline day. I've just got a sneaky feeling he's going to become a Man United player.
Nah, I can't see that. Maybe next year.
In what scenario? In what scenario, Kenny? Terry. It's a Kenny. Terry.
Look, 1, the takeover. 2, the way we walked away from it. Go back and read the reports. It was, for now, United walk away. The price is too high. The Kane camp via Fjortov today spoke about how the Kane camp still think Man United is an option. I believe what we're doing, we're almost waiting to see if a Bayern can get close to an agreement price, so it gives us an idea of the base, and then we can step in. Now, it will be more expensive for us because we're a rival. But at the same time, if we're the ones doing the negotiations, it'll be even higher. So I do believe, again, this is not based on anything I've read. This isn't.
It's a gut feeling.
It's just a gut feel. I think he might end up being a Man United player come the end of this summer. The way Man United have gone about their business, listen, I agree. Look, we have got some financial issues, but I don't believe we're anywhere near as broke as we're making out. I believe that later on down the window, we will go back in. I think more money will be raised when players are sold. But if the Harry Kane news was still floating around, every other player we're trying to buy becomes more expensive, because if you've got 110 million for Harry Kane, you can pay us 60 million for Onana. You can pay us whatever it is for Højlund. If we're even considering giving 85 million for Højlund, which people think we are,
We might as well do it for Kane.
why would you not just pay 20 million more and get Harry Kane? It doesn't even make
Yeah.
any sense to me personally. So I've just got a feeling, man. Look, it's pure fan theory. I think there's a real good chance he becomes a Man United player this summer. And if he does, then
is
it
that
could
dependent on the takeover or not, or is that this just?
Yes, yeah. I think we have to get the take. I think that takeover has to go through, but I'm hopeful that will as well. And by the way, that's still 6-7 weeks to go. That's still a fair amount of time, but that's just not my view anyway. This super chat here.